I unlocked another memory last night. I tried some THC. Uh, and this one I don't really know where to place it. Uh, there's the thing of these people. If you do something against the church or you say something that removes people away from God's light, they basically abduct your ass and then take you. They try to, dude. They had me high on something like, okay. So this is what happened. I was hanging with my cuddle buddy like I always do, and she was driving like she always does. But she didn't drive me toward the mall. She drove me toward Cartersville, and I didn't want to go to Cartersville, but we ended up in Cartersville. And then these dudes in these onyx colored vehicles abducted my ass. I argued with them. They took me to a large white temple about 8 o'clock at night, and they took me behind this building. And we went down a bunch of secret tunnels. And one of the secret tunnels had like rotting corpses in it. It was weird. I don't know. But I was there with other people, and I was put into a white robe. I don't know where the white robe came from. But at some point, I was put into a white robe. And there were these other people marching with me down this tunnel. One of them was some lady behind us crying. I know why she was crying. And they took us all the way out to this altar where I met Stu, and he was all dressed up in his church robe thing. And this room was weird. It had like crystals, and it was white. There were all these people in it standing around, wearing white, obviously. And then the first person went up there, and they were under hypnosis, and Stu was explaining to them they had to kill themselves or else be condemned to hell, and this is the only way to save their soul. And I was like, even high, I was like, this guy sounds like a fucking loon. So that lady, I think, actually killed herself with a knife while she was under some kind of drug-induced, hypnotized, zombified state. So they get to me, and it's like my unconscious mind, not me, but my unconscious mind. And Stu's like, I'm God, and you led people away from God's light, blah, 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 and I just, Bobby Brain. This is the only way this works, Bobby Brain. If you're God, you're in control. If I'm leading people away from God's light, then that's what God wants. That's how that works. Thank you. No! And then he starts talking backwards and sideways. And I don't know what this tactic is. It's like some type of weird, I'm going to confuse you and then convince you I'm right. And I just fucking eye roll because one, I don't want to listen to this idiot. And two, he had me like hypnotized to see him as God, but my first intrusion with God when I was little was a painting my mom had. I used to call it the Big Man painting. In our house when I was a kid. My mom told me that's God. You talk to him about anything. And the other instance was a child show. One of those really shitty Christian movies. So when I'm looking at Stu, I see a 1990s animated version of God talking to me, and I can't take him serious because he's a cartoon. Because that's how I view God. And that's because everybody interprets God differently. And Stu's like, I'll show you what hell looks like. And then he puts me in hell. And there's all this burning and all the generic hell jazz. And then I look up and there's just like this bright light up there. And then I'm just enveloped in light. And then I just like a magnet. And I'm like up there in the light looking down. And there's just like people getting tortured for no reason. And blood everywhere. And stabbing. And killing. And then God looks at me and he's like, remember, Bobby, if you commit suicide, you go to hell, which is something I think a Catholic told me when I was in elementary school. When I was in elementary school, a kid down the street had hung himself. And they did a thing where they sent people out to talk to the kids in elementary school about suicide. And the Catholics solved the problem through fear. If you kill yourself, you go to hell. So I was like, no, brother. And then Stu, they give you a dagger. It's this weird jagged dagger with a golden hilt to, I guess, kill yourself. I think you're supposed to either stab yourself to death or slit your neck. I don't know. The other people ahead of me did it under this hypnosis state, convinced that they would go to hell if a student saved them. No. I told him straight up, no, brother, that's against my beliefs. And then he went, no, it's not, because you'll go to hell. And I was like, people have been telling me I'll go to hell forever. What makes you any different? And then he was like, well, I'm God. I was like, then if you're God, then you know why I did what I did. And now we have this understanding. And he went, no, we don't, because I'm in control. Well, obviously not, if I'm leading people away from God's light. This weird interaction with Stu went through, like, I think the reason it took me so long to remember this is this interaction in particular was very bizarre. Because there were hundreds of people present during this, and him trying to talk me into killing myself and failing because it's in his nature to fail. But the whole aspect behind this is him continuously putting me on different drug trips using, I think there at some point they brought me like a crystal vial thing of like green liquid or some shit. I was high out of my mind. That might not even been the real colors of it. Some other shit that's supposed to make, I guess, killing yourself not hurt. I don't know. And, dude, they just kept trying to remove me from myself further and further and further in this attempt to... It's like who you are is a threat to them, so they get rid of that and turn you into an idiot. And Stu put in this extra work, and I just kept refusing to do it. Kill myself. This weird thing. And then the lady after me was the one that was screaming and crying, and Stu did her visions. She kept telling him no, and then eventually she killed herself. The lady after that, there was a guy, I think, a really big guy. He was like the last dude, and he just up and fucking, he's like, he said something along the lines of, I'm doing this for my kids, I'm not doing this because of you people, and then he killed himself. I don't know how, like, I was like skipped over, like Stu just kept failing, and I just kept hitting him with Bobby logic, like, once again, if you're God and you're in control, then everything is as it's meant to be. That's what that means. Okay. You don't get to go, I'm in control, but also there are things I'm not in control of. No, it doesn't go both ways. You don't get to make that decision. Make that call, and then go, well, there are things I'm in control of, but not really. No. No. You're either in control or you're not. Okay. That's how that works. This vision was weird, because after that they took me to some dark tunnel underneath this temple complex thing where they started beating me and assaulting me, and then I saw some kind of weird astral projected, like, outside the building looking down at it, and the only thing I was thinking was, I need to kill these motherfuckers. I need to kill these motherfuckers. And I ended up zipping back into my body, and then some guys in a navy blue, like, it almost looked like a SWAT vehicle, if I had to describe it, just dropped me off back at my house, like, put me in my bed around 3 in the morning. They marched my ass, like, unconscious. out of this vehicle into my house, casually talking to me, and explaining to me it's very unusual that I didn't kill myself, and have fun going to hell when you die. And I was just, not how that works. Stu can't condemn you to hell. Okay. Trust me, those other guys and that other stupid religion in that box, they condemn me to hell. Stu condemned me to hell. Everybody's done condemn me to hell, and yet I don't feel like I'm going to hell. Okay. Once again, I've tried to do the right thing my entire life, and the only time I failed to do the right thing is when people derailed my plans of doing the right thing. Okay. Even this situation, I was full of aluminum and completely mentally destabilized, and I have extreme trauma, and I was not capable of making good decisions because I was extremely mentally unwell, which is exactly what I told Annalene Mummy God. And in these people's brains, either you can do something or you can't do something. You can't change, you can't develop, there's no moving past this, blah, because they're stupid. Okay, they're stupid and their religion is just purely destructive. And every member of this fucking motherfucker is just a piece of shit. Okay? They love shows of force, they love shows of power, they love shows of fear. What would have been really cool is I remember this guy was working on this technology that you could see other people's thoughts. I think it would be funny if these people could actually see how everybody during their drug trips views Jesus or God or whoever the fuck. Like, dude, one of the entities Stu hypnotized me into seeing him as when I was in that temple place was, it was like God with flaming eyes. If I had great flaming eyeballs of God. And he was like, pendulum stare. And then I was like, cool. And then he got into my mind, and I was Stu. And I was looking back at him, and he was like, stop that. And I was like, what? And he's like, stop that. You're not me. I'm me. You're the blah, blah, blah. And I turned into myself. But then I was walking circles around Stu as he was like staring back at himself. And then the God guy was staring at himself. And I was like walking around them like, yeah, I think I'm going to like this place. This white space of nothing. Because that's where you're at. Like, you're speaking to God, you're in a white space of nothing. The cartoon version of God was pretty funny, though. That was my favorite. Because he was like a shitty 1990s style cartoon that was like, you need to kill yourself, Bobby. I started like, dude, I don't know if I started cracking a laugh or anything. I don't know how the unconscious mind works in this altered state. But, yeah, I suddenly fucking, just another memory I remembered from these people. I don't remember exactly when that was, but this is another attempt of my cuddle buddy trying to kill me. My cuddle buddy was a real motherfucker, because she didn't tell me that I was being taken to a place to kill myself. She explained to me that my soul needed to be saved, and it needed to be saved through some kind of blood atonement or blood sacrifice at the church. And that was the only way to save my soul. And I was like, so like, is this like a 9 to 5 thing? Are we going to go in there? You guys going to splash some water on me for like a baptism? And then I'm going to go home. And then she was like, no. And I was like, well, what happens? And then she was like, and then they have a made up word for killing yourself. And she kept saying the made up word for killing yourself. Because she wanted me to kill myself. Careful who your friends are. I'm starting to wonder if every one of these motherfuckers doesn't know how to do this LSD thing, and all you gotta do is capture one and waterboard the fuck out of it until it tells you how to do this LSD bullshit. Fucking... That would be funny. Just figure that out, and that'd be the only thing you just put on the internet. Fucking come to the most popular dude on the planet, how to control your wife in 2 easy steps. Spray her in the face with LSD, tell her to go make you a sandwich. Trust me, the shit these church leaders get up to, like how how the war boys are effectively idiots that just defend a human sex trafficking ring, which is what the wives represent in Mad Max. They represent human trafficking, and the war boys will do anything to defend it. That's exactly how this church is. Everybody in it, they have a bunch of skills that make them extremely difficult to deal with. They have a bunch of abilities that make them extremely difficult to deal with. But all that power, all that strength, all that swarm, all that money, all that is nothing but cannon fodder for a human trafficking ring. And all that power is used to do nothing but defend a massive human trafficking ring. Yeah. I don't know exactly when this event took place. Like I said, I remember my cuddle buddy being an extra bitch, literally continuously explaining to me again and again and again, that was just doing a little bit of a thing at the church, and it's gonna save your soul, and by save your soul, I mean get you killed. Yeah. Because Stu wants to give me mercy when Stu kept trying to murder my ass and failing because it's his nature to fail, just like he failed to get me to kill myself. I don't know exactly how this hypnosis shit works. Those other people killed themselves pretty easily. But when it came to me, like, Stu once tried to blame me for a bunch of things. That wasn't my fault. They're his stupid religion. And once again, I am not responsible for your actions. I am not responsible for your stupid fucking religion. I am not responsible when you people murder somebody because of something I said or did. You chose to murder that person. You did not need to murder that person. You did it because of your stupid fucking religion. That person is dead because you believe poop. Okay. I think the other side of this shit is, I remember when I was high on the drugs, is this shit fed into, at Ingles, Stu was like, pop some LSD and I'll show you my powers. You're not showing me your powers if you're taking me on a guided acid trip. Okay? I'm not seeing shit if you're taking me on a guided acid trip. I'm high on acid and it is altering my perception of reality. That is what is going on. I'm not an idiot. And I think that same thing happened when they were trying to get me to kill myself, as I kept telling them, I think I'm high on something. And Stu was like, you're not high! No, I definitely was high on something. Yeah. It's kind of fucked up that nobody in your family or anybody on the planet will fucking help you when these people just come for your ass. Like, trust me, a lot of this shit could be solved real quickly if, like, one person fucking helped me.